All right, so you know Cam, you play with him, you talk about him a lot. He's a huge. Listen, he is the Panthers for the last 8 to 9 years. Now he's going to be a 1-year deal for the Patriots. It's a whole different feel. But let's start with this: do you think it works in New England?
I think it does work because both parties need to make it work, right? Cam Newton needs this to go well because he wants to revive his career. If he plays well in New England, he can obviously re-sign with the Patriots, but go somewhere else for a big contract, right? He can revive his entire career doing this. And Bill Belichick wants to give a middle finger to everyone who doesn't think he can win without Tom Brady. So both parties need to make this work. It's just a 1-year deal. It's not a 5-year deal. It's not a 6-year deal. It's a 1-year deal. And both parties have a lot of incentive to make this go as well as possible. So I think it does work, assuming this whole discussion basically is assuming Cam is healthy, right? Because that's a big part of this. If he's not healthy, it's not going to go well. But if he is, I think it's a great combination between the brains of Belichick, McDaniels, and what Cam Newton can do as an athlete from that position.
It feels like a little bit like an audition. Like nobody thinks they're going to be married. It's the classic Hollywood marriage. A lot of sizzle. None of us think it's going to be around in 20 years. This feels like an audition. Is that too cynical?
Yeah, it's a 1-year deal. I mean, it's for the minimum. I mean, I'm shocked at how cheap they got him. The leverage was obviously on the Patriots side here. As Cam wanted to start, it was very clear from the beginning of free agency there were not a lot of places for him to go and start, and New England was one of them. So they got him for very cheap. And yeah, it's an audition, especially for Cam. He's been hurt for the back half of 2018. He was hurt for most of 2019. People are questioning his health, obviously, after being hurt for that long. And this is a huge deal for him. He goes to New England, right? I mean, if you play well in New England, we've seen what happens to Jimmy Garoppolo, to Matt Castle, to guys that play well in New England. They get big opportunities elsewhere. And if Cam can prove for the 1 year that he can do it, he's going to get paid a lot of money next season by somebody. It might be New England. It might still be in New England, but he's going to get paid a lot of money somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Darrelle Revis get paid out of New England. We saw Deion Lewis, the running back, get paid out of New England. Yeah. I mean, that's the reality. So here am I'm predicting the stats. Now, I don't know if he starts week 1 because it may be a situation where we have limited practices. 3,100 yards, 22 TDs, 11 picks, passer rating in the 89, completion percentage 61. He'll have better protection than he's generally had, but he doesn't have any dynamic, easy home run threats. You look at those numbers, what do you make of it? That's my projection.
In 2018, he played with Norv Turner as his OC. We know Norv Turner, excellent OC for many years in the NFL. It was the first time in his career he played in a more traditional pro-style type passing attack. The first 8 weeks of the year when he was healthy, he completed 68% of his passes. So we've seen him do it. I've been as hard as anybody on Cam Newton's accuracy, especially in the Charlotte region where people just don't want to hear anything but Cam is the greatest quarterback ever. But he convinced me in that 8-game sample size, small sample size, that he can do it. That he can play in an offense that is more traditional, that does feature less down-the-field bombs, which is what Shula had in the offense for so many years, and just more of a steady offense. And he did that. So I think in this offense now, that's what they've done for years with Tom Brady, right? You're just 5 yards, 7 yards, 8 yards, take a shot here and there. So I think he's going to complete about 67% of passes like he did. I don't know how many yards he throws for, touchdowns he runs for, or throws for. I mean, that's kind of, just depending on the weapons, like you said, that he doesn't really have. But I think he will be very functional in this offense. And I do think they'll work in some wrinkles with his legs. I don't think it's going to be a part of the offense that people think it will be. I think they'll use it very situationally. They'll make sure to put him in a situation where he can succeed. And then they'll have some wrinkles off of it. They'll have some cool play action passes, some trick plays. They always love trick plays. It'd be a lot of fun to watch this connection as it begins to happen in camp.
Okay, so let me ask you this. There's going to be people in that building that have formed a relationship with Jarrett Stidham. So Cam's not getting every snap. I mean, what does this say about Stidham? Does this say Stidham was always a smokescreen and Belichick doesn't like him?
I kind of thought it was. I mean, look at the history of the NFL. I know Tom Brady's the outlier, Russell Wilson is, Dak Prescott, but most franchise quarterbacks are in the first or second round. And I never bought Stidham as being the guy. One thing to consider here that's very unique to just this offseason is you look at Cam Newton as a veteran, right? He's seen it all. He has not played in this offense. But coming into training camp this year, you're going to have probably less practice time just because of a ramp-up period to get guys in shape. You're going to have possibly only 2 preseason games. You're going to need a guy to play positions, not just the quarterback for New England, but there'll be spots around the league where veterans get the nod because they know what they're doing. right? Stidham has not been in the building the entire offseason. Get to training camp. Who do you trust to be ready to play? Do you trust Cam Newton, who's done it for so many years now, who's won an MVP, or Jarrett Stidham, who's thrown a handful of passes in the NFL? I trust Cam Newton to be ready to play week one. It's unique to this offseason. If it was a different offseason, I'd say, hey, look, maybe Stidham's the guy. But I do think day one, if Cam is healthy, again, big if, that he will be the starter day one who'll get the first reps with the ones.
You know, I said Tom Brady's got to be the luckiest guy in the world. So his entire stay in New England, it always felt like they got scheduling breaks.
Yeah.
This year, for the first time in the Belichick era, it's the toughest schedule in the NFL. At Seattle, at Kansas City, Ravens, Texans. And then they face a bunch of teams who I think are going to be massively improved. Denver, Chargers, Arizona. Yeah, I look at this and I think to myself, the timing's a little suspicious. Do you think possibly Brady looked at that and thought, we got no weapons? I'm not going to face that offensive juggernaut. What do you make of that schedule for Cam?
Oh, I'm sure that Tom Brady looked at that. The guy looks at everything in his life. Every detail of his life is thought about. I guarantee he looked at the schedule. It's tough, right? I mean, they finally go to Kansas City after 3 years of the Chiefs coming to them. That's obviously a big game there. The Bills are going to be better. I don't know about the Jets. I have faith in Sam Darnold, but not really the coaching staff there. The Texans are going to be tough as well. I'm not sure the Rams. I don't really buy the Rams this year. Chargers could be good depending on what happens. It's a tough schedule. I mean, it really is. But I get Bill Belichick. I get Cam Newton. Again, I have to say healthy Cam Newton. I like their chances, but I'm never going to bet against the Patriots. You don't make money betting against them, and I'm not going to do it now until proven otherwise.
By the way, so Tom Brady's practicing. Albert Breer told us an hour ago. Matt Ryan had a 9-week camp. Russell Wilson's putting out videos. Take me to how an NFL player thinks with this pandemic training and going against what the league wants them to do guideline-wise.
Well, first of all, most NFL players feel invincible in general, right? So I think their general feeling is, hey, obviously there's a pandemic happening. We have to protect my family and loved ones. But me personally, I'm not going to get sick, or if I am, I won't show symptoms. I'm going to go out and train because, look, training camp starts in about a month from now, approximately. You cannot use the excuse of, hey, the PA told me I can't work out with my friends. I wasn't ready to play. That doesn't fly with teams. So guys right now, in their head, their heart, they know that they have a month till camp. They know they have to prepare to get ready to play on the first day training camp. And that's why you see Matt Ryan, Russell Wilson, obviously, you mentioned Brady. There's other guys around the NFL that are working out together, that are getting right. You have to do this. And I think that you can't tell. I mean, you can tell them, but they're not going to listen. They have to play. He knows 1 month from now, when camp starts, he has to be ready to go from day one to get ready to play in their first game. And I think that every player, I would have done this too. I would have been working out. I would have been getting ready to go. I would think to myself, hey, man, I'm going to take the precautions needed to not get sick and make it work.
Yeah. By the way, last week, the graphics department here, who we're strongly considering replacing, I said during my morning meeting, I said there was a story out about Dwayne Haskins, and I said the 5 most catchable balls in the NFL. Well, they put up the top 5 arm talents, and the internet exploded. And I said it's not an arm talent argument. It's they throw incredibly catchable balls. I said Wilson, Brady, Breeze, Kyler Murray, Jared Goff. The internet imploded because I didn't have a guy in Kansas City on it. What did you make of my list?
Any list of a positive quarterback trait that doesn't include Pat Mahomes is not an accurate list. He is everything. I mean, catchable ball. I mean, he's on the back of his foot throwing the ball to Tyreek Hill. I mean, obviously the throw here to Watkins. There was a throw against Baltimore this year when he's backing up, he hits a guy. I mean, I think that obviously any list that, I mean, just from now until he retires, any list that there is, just like you put Russell Wilson and Tom Brady on every list you have, Pat Mahomes is on every single one of them as well. I mean, this guy it's unbelievable to watch him play. He just doesn't, he just can sling it, man. I mean, even last year when his kind of feet were messed up and his ankle was messed up and his knee and then he just still found a way to make it work. And obviously in the playoffs he was healthy, and we see all the throws he made here. I mean, it's incredible. Look at these balls; they're so beautiful.
By the way, congrats on your new pool for your family. It looked like
it came at the perfect time. I'm so glad we put in right before this started, and now it's ready. It's awesome.